Dead or alive, who would you have dinner with?
Oh, Lord.
Ah! Singer. Oh, okay. I kind of, that would be mine too, but you know. All right, top three. Who's at the table and what are you having?
Who's at the table?
Mm-hmm. You're having a dinner. Mm-hmm. You're inviting three people,
dead or
alive, singers, and you are preparing food for them. Mm-hmm. Maybe not preparing per se, but you're the host. What we eating? Because I'm there too, by the way, in the cut.
Well, Marvin Gaye.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's what's going on. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. Ding, ding, ding,
Like,
ding,
who would
ding,
be like a
ding,
good
ding,
match
ding,
with
ding.
those two?
A good match with those two is a good question. Because those two will probably get along. I mean, those two get along solid, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin gonna be chilling.
Yeah.
And Whitney, she gonna be turned up.
I'm about to say she's not going to be chilling.
Yeah, she not gonna be chilling. She gonna be
he ain't going to pay her no real mind. And when they do, it's going to be a good time.
Right. So the third person, I would probably want them to be a little turned up too.
You want to turn up? You got to, because you chill.
With Whitney, like, yeah, I just want them to, I want it to be fun.
Okay. Yikes.
I want them, fun.
That sounds, okay.
I think that might have to be somebody that is alive. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to go with an artist that I like and say Janelle Monáe.
Oh, you love Janelle.
That's
a cool dinner.
That's a random group of people.
Yeah.
But very creative people.
What do you think the conversation is sounding like? What are we talking about here at dinner? Because again, I am at dinner.
Ooh.
I'm there too.
Well, my favorite topic is love and relationships.
We all know.
Yes. So let's talk about it.
Oh, are you asking Marvin the hard questions? Yo, was you and Tammy ever a thing? Oh. What's up, bruh?
No, I mean, we could base it around like their song subjects, like what they were talking about in their music, not their crazy wild love lives.
You don't want to talk about that? I mean, I feel like
I don't want to talk about their personal love lives.
Okay,
in my mind, I'm thinking like their music. So what are some relationships or things that came to mind when you sang certain songs?
No. That's good.
Yeah, I think that could probably be a cool thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Who? Wait, you didn't tell us what we're eating.
Well, I'm pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
And
so am I.
Yes, and not too much dairy either.
That's not my portion.
Yeah, so I'll probably want us all to try to eat something healthy. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking like a nice big snapper stuffed with vegetables. Mm-hmm. I get maybe like some homemade mashed potatoes.
I'm so glad you said mashed potatoes. My mouth was like holding it like.
So we got some vegetables with a large snapper on top of the bed of vegetables, and we got some mashed potatoes on the side.
Yum.
Maybe a little crab cake or something, something on the side.
Oh, that's cute. Little salad. Yeah. We need a salad.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah,
minus your arugula.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna be so full. Yes, I do not like arugula.
Yeah, minus it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want all of them to eat something healthy, so that they can sing. Yeah, because we need to sing together.
So we're going to go to the piano afterward and we're going to sing?
Yes, okay. We're going to sing. We're going to sing. Yeah. Look, my creative juices are flowing. Yeah, you got it going, girl.
What's up, everybody? I'm your girl, Tanikka Charraé.
And I'm Natalie Imani. And we are your singer friends.
Yes. We're your singer friends. We are here, back in full effect. Episode. We out here. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. We've been sharing everything that we know about singing, songwriting, being a professional background vocalist, being an entrepreneur, all of the things, everything we know, we're sharing. We're an open book.
We're an open book.
No gatekeeping over here.
No gatekeeping over here. And today's topic, Nat, tell the people them, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about balance. Okay? We're talking about balance.
Yeah.
Relationships, independent artistry, networking, the whole lifestyle of being a singer,
family,
artist.
You know, like there's so many components, so many moving parts.
All of the things.
Yeah.
You like to say.
So I do. That's so funny. Wayne always makes fun of me about that too.
Oh, does he?
Balance is super crucial as a singer entrepreneur / musician entrepreneur. What would you say are some of the things that you do to keep and have balance within your entire life? Because it's a lot going on. You got a lot happening too. We all do, but just tell the people them.
Yeah, so in one of the earlier episodes, we talked a lot about scheduling and like using time in an efficient way, using our calendars. So when it comes to my own personal things that I want to do as far as like maybe, launching my lipstick brand that you guys keep seeing me wear, my beautiful red lipstick.
It is
creating a date for the launch for that, releasing music. Over the summer, I released a project called Come Through. Setting a date, launching that, sending the emails, all the different things. So I think the biggest thing is setting a schedule, setting dates. When it comes to like balance in terms of relationships with like family and even my husband, I find that it's most difficult when I'm overseas with like the time change. The time difference is just really difficult to schedule, like with vocal clients. The time difference makes it very difficult to figure out like what time to do different things. But you just kind of figure out how to make it work. Okay, I woke up first thing in the morning. Let me call my husband as soon as I wake up. This way, that's checked off my list before I check in with him later in the week. And I'm still not completely perfect with that. But I think if you create some kind of system for how you want to do things, sit down and create a calendar, dates for when you want to launch projects, all of those kinds of things, I think it works in your best interest in terms of like balancing everything that you're trying to do. Just like Google Calendar, keeping it on my calendar. Yeah, and even like taking care of my health, right? I was on tour with Miss Hill for 6 weeks. I came home right away. I made appointments for my doctor, for the gynecologist, for my dentist, getting a massage, all of my self-care things. I try to make sure that I schedule that, get it on my Google Calendar. I just try to figure out the best times to make things happen for me while I have free time.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good. I love that you mentioned self-care because that is important.
Oh yeah, I don't play about that.
I
you
know.
Can't do. You're no good for any of it.
You're no good.
You can't sing. You can't perform. You can't be a wife. You can't there's nothing you can do if you don't take care of yourself first. When I'm feeling off balance, I'm feeling like I'm not balancing things the best way, or my mental health is feeling a little crazy, I check in with my therapist. Do you have any time available? I just need to talk, and she'll remind me, you know how good you feel when you wake up in the morning and you journal. Let's get back to journaling. Let's get back to exercising. It's very easy to like get into, oh, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. When we get into our feelings. But I think when we think about the rewards that we get by, doing all those things to like take care of ourselves and, managing it all. It kind of puts you back on track. Yeah. So I think it's just important to check in with yourself, check in with your family, check in with your friends, check in with your husband, check in with your business. Sometimes I ask my friends, like, are we good? Like, have I checked in enough? Like, how do you feel that I could be a better friend to you, you know, checking in. How can I be a better wife to you? You know, looking at my business. What are some things 2025 is about to start? What are some things that I want to see happen for me as an individual?
That goes back to that intentionality.
Yeah. Outside of traveling and being a background vocalist, what are some things that me as a personal, like what is my personal goal for Natalie Imani? Like what do I want to see happen in the new year for me? What do I want to do more of? Yeah. You know, so I think it's all just going back to the drawing board and writing out your vision, creating, you know, dates and times for everything that you want to do. I think that's the best thing you can do in terms of balancing it all.
Yeah, that's good.
And you?
So I think one of the biggest things that you have to be intentional about is balance and rest. Like I especially specifically in this industry, because you'll get work to the bone.
Yep.
Everything is open late, right? And then it's like, you know, people are going to the studios late, people are going to shows late, like everything is just late because it's a nighttime, it's entertainment, it's like, you know, for majority of the time. So you're missing meals. You're missing healthy meals, I should say. You're missing working out. There's so many things that are just being missed. And if you kind of wing it, there's never going to be balance because you kind of have to be intentional. You really, and so I will take this time actually to say that this is why I have so many bags on the road.
I knew you were about to talk about those bags because one of her bags is filled with just vitamins and self-care things. But I mean, it's important. Like I met with my nutritionist earlier today and I'm like, even after almost 20 years of being in this business, I am still trying to figure out the proper way to balance my nutrition and making sure that I'm eating enough while I'm doing all of the things. Because you wake up, of course, you know, you're tired. So you're probably sleeping through breakfast, you know what I mean? Which is probably...
Natalie's not sleeping through breakfast.
That's probably the most important. It's the most important meal. You know, someone recently told me, which I never heard. I've never heard this before. Okay. I've worked with nutritionists, herbalists. I don't even know if this is true.
Okay.
But someone told me recently, it was a man, he has like a nutrition store where he sells vitamins and all this stuff. Yeah. He told me that the biggest meal should be breakfast and then lunch a little smaller and then dinner smaller than like the smallest. Yeah. I've never heard that before.
Really? That's actually how I eat.
I've never heard that before.
Think about it in a way where you start the day
has
off.
Always been the biggest.
Really?
Yes.
No. Because if you make your biggest, you need all the energy, right? Quote unquote. But then you take that energy to burn off throughout the rest of the day.
Right.
So the smaller meals, it's like, and you're essentially getting closer to sleeping. So you don't want to be sleeping on a full stomach.
Yeah, and I guess the proper way to eat involves so much food. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's even like balancing that, like having
so much.
My nutritionist created a time schedule for me to eat, like 9 a.m. breakfast, you know what I mean? Like 12 p.m. make sure you grab some, you know, some nuts and some seeds, like, you know what I mean? Like little things to keep your energy going. Yeah. And it's like, if you don't balance that properly, you don't balance your health, balance your nutrition properly throughout your day, it'll be very difficult to do any of the things that you need to do. Yeah. You know, especially in the music community. Like, I don't think people realize how important it is to be healthy. Like, you are physically...
Oh, they don't realize.
Yeah, you're physically your business. Like, if you are sick...
If you out, you out.
Yeah, that's it, you know, and you want to keep yourself going as much or as long as you possibly can, you know. People think it's so cool, like, oh my gosh, I just got up and I went to the studio and I was in the studio.
I was grinding.
Yeah, until 8 p.m. I ain't even eat breakfast, lunch. I did that.
Get me out of that.
And then, you know, you're having health issues and then... Yeah. And then you can't grind it out in the studio. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it is important for us to, and like I said, it's still a learning, you know, process for me wanting to and needing to really create systems that work for me,
Mm-hmm.
with that stuff. Like I recently started getting a little green powder and put it in some water, making sure I drink that when I wake up in the morning.
Oh, that's good.
Because I'm like, okay, if I'm not going to have enough vegetables with my meal, it's really just like another vitamin, like another multivitamin or something.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it
Got
doesn't really
it.
replace actual
Vegetables.
food. Yeah.
So I don't think anything's actually replacing vegetables. I mean, they're vegetables and they're needed.
Yeah. So I think like you talked a lot about systems, so I think it is.
Oh, I was coming back in with it. Yep.
Yeah, it's so important to create systems for yourself and like every area of life in order to balance any of it.
Yeah.
Because
the truth of the matter is we're away more than we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, so I'm being facetious in terms of the bags, but not, because I was explaining to Nat like a couple of weeks ago that like, if I'm going to be consistent and regular with my nutrition, when is it going to be? Especially if I'm on the road most of the time. So I have to create a system where it makes sense on the road, because if not, then I'm only doing well, eating well, being healthy when I'm home. And that's not even realistic. That's dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the balance is really important. Okay, so do we have to have some heavy bags? Yeah, because I need some of these things, Yeah, I mean, that's some of the things in the bag. So, what else is in the bags? I guess this is an expose on my bags. Is that what we're doing now to show why my balance?
No, it doesn't.
I brought it up, so it doesn't even. I know.
I think the point of it all is doing whatever you need to do to be able to take care of yourself in the best way that you can, whether you're traveling or not.
Correct. So I think that is important. I think that especially when you travel so much, you have to really figure out how to prioritize your health and your wellness on the road. Like, what does that look like?
And you also had studio stuff in your bag too, so that adds to balance too, making sure that you're giving yourself what you need on the road to be able to record and be creative and do those things. Yeah. So that's important too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One of the things that I do is I have to clean my house before I leave. So that when I come back, because there's a real solid reason. Well, one, I don't really like function really well in non-clean spaces, but specifically right before I leave, I like to clean the house really well, because when I come back, I literally like am a hermit. I'm under a rock for like a week, and I don't want to go back to a dirty house. That's right with you. Right. So that's like one of the things that I do, but that's also one of the things that I know to do, because I also know that it'll set me up, because I'll take like a long chunk of time off, and in taking that time off, like I'm really just trying to decompress and get myself together to be able to, boom, power through, hit the next thing, whatever that is. And if I'm in a house where I feel like, even though it's mine, that it's not as clean as I would like for it to be, I'm not as comfortable. So then that rest doesn't even fully count the way that I need for it to really count. So that's part of one of my systems. So I make sure that's done, so that I'm balanced, so that it doesn't then prolong. Because what happens is, if it's not, then it's gonna prolong my rest. Because then I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta clean this house.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best thing to do, because when you come back from the road, you're coming back with a bunch of dirty laundry.
Yep.
Like your suitcases are probably gonna live on the floor for like 3 days before you have the motivation to do anything.
To do dishes.
Yeah. So who wants to add to that?
And it just takes longer to get out of it.
It adds to like knowing yourself enough to know like, these are the things that I need to have mental clarity.
Mental clarity, and that's the exact word. I do not function mentally well when things are in disarray and just ridiculous. Don't walk into my living room right now though, because I was running out really, really late, and so it's a little bit chaotic. But nonetheless, it won't be once I get home. But I say that to say that is a system. That's something that I need. But I also know, as a person who's moving and an entrepreneur and my own boss and the person who's my own motivator, hey, I need to set this up, or this is going to delay something else, because I'm just going to not feel like doing nothing. So that's just an example of something that, you need to be aware of in terms of knowing yourself and how to operate and have balance in your specific lifestyle. Another thing that I really try to do I try to really work out on the road. I kind of failed miserably this last tour, but nonetheless, I really do try to work out so that I don't have to worry. I mean, weight is weight. It's all relative. But if I'm gaining weight now I'm gaining more weight. It's back like the house situation. I got to be sure that I'm on top of it. And then in addition to that, though, I need to be sure that, a lot of people think working out is to look good, but it's honestly for me to physically be good too. Like I do a lot of cardio. Mm-hmm. So that helps with my singing, that helps with my breathing, that helps with, all the things. And then I do like a lot of sculpting and stuff like that too. But I try to do that on the road because like you can't just have a gym membership when you're home for 2 weeks and then you just live your best. Like that's not even a realistic, balanced, healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So I attempt to be as balanced as I can with working out, with eating. My eating is not as good as it could be. I don't eat terrible. I'm a pescatarian, but I like cheese. So Nat makes fun of me about that pretty much all the time.
Singers. Hey, singer friends. Cheese is not your friend.
It's mine.
Y'all hear her clearing her throat and coughing through this whole... No.
First of all,
I'm just saying, dairy, no for the vocals. I'm just saying. Accept me. I'm just saying. Sips tea,
right. But yeah, I think finding
a lot of people love cheese though.
I mean, it's
a difficult one.
It's
especially
so
pizza.
Oh, what?
My God, today. She doesn't eat the crust though, bruh. You gotta eat the crust. You wildin'. David,
yeah. We got Bear all excited.
My dog. Bear,
I don't eat the crust. My friends drag it to me.
So many people do that though. They just leave the crust with all these bite marks on it.
Let me tell you, the first time she saw me not eat that crust, she said, "Oh my gosh." Nat gets mad about certain things. She got mad. It was so funny too the way she did it. What? You not eating the crust? What is wrong with you?
Wait, people know when I'm mad, my New York accent comes out.
What is wrong with you? I was like, what's wrong with me? Because I don't want the crust. Okay. But anyway, back to what we were saying about balance. It's really about knowing yourself and knowing how to maximize off of working your best. Mm-hmm. How can I optimally function? And for me, I know I think a lot, so I need my brain to be, like a space where it'll be clear and it can be executed. I need clean spaces. I need to work out. I need my nutrition. I have my little things. I know I'm a little particular, but nonetheless, I just think that knowing how you function best will help determine how you need to balance. And balance isn't, and that's one thing I do want to clarify. Balance isn't because you're able to do it, right? So balance isn't like, well, I ain't never get sick before, or I work 725 hours a week all the time. Like, this is what balance isn't because you're not affected or like sick or being hurt by going, or because there is an imbalance. It's recognizing, I think, how to be more efficient and how to, be neutralized as much as possible, I guess, if you will. And that, in essence, I think maintains like your stress levels and just keeps things imbalanced in general. Mm-hmm. The last thing I want to talk about balance wise too, though, is like balance in terms of your family, like in your relationships, because there was, when I first started touring really, really hard, I used to be upset when like my friends would like have different like events and stuff that I couldn't go to. And after a while they stopped like asking me to come, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why they not asking me? And it's like, cause you're always on the road.
Yeah.
And I had to recognize like that was my reality. Like I am actually always on the road. So that's kind of what it is. So I try to do different activities and things to keep myself present, if you will, like with my different family members. So like with my nieces and like my godkids and stuff, like I try to schedule like FaceTime calls with them, do the little Bible studies and stuff with them and stuff like that, so that they can, still be involved with me, but are also growing and we're still doing life. And then the last thing I want to say about balance is, so spiritual life is really important for me. So I always try to put God first and put him centered at a lot of my balance. I mean, again, I have not mastered these systems yet fully, completely, but I do try to really carve out time, especially in like the beginning of my day, with like a lot of prayer and a lot of like meditation and Bible reading and stuff. So I try to do that to kick off my day, because that honestly sets a lot of my balance. Like spending that time, having that quiet time, really actually like piecing, if you will, my spirit and just calming it and all of that. And that happens for me at the beginning, a lot of at the beginning of the day, because it helps me reset and helps me kick off the day. So those are like kind of, I would say like a lot of the different categories were like a lot of the major, I would say, things that you need to really think about regarding balance. What's important here? What's not? All of it is actually important. It's just a matter of the timing of it, the season of it, what takes precedence, what doesn't, and just really finding out how to really master that. There's some people that will always get me on the phone, right? Like my mom or, just certain folks that I'm always available for, even when I'm not available, but it's because they just prioritized in that way. And I think that that's just how you kind of have to approach your life. You have to prioritize it in a way that genuinely makes sense. Your question was, how do I handle it? But those are the different areas that I'm balancing, and that's kind of how I handle my balancing.
That's good. That's good. And, making sure that you create those checks and balances with yourself in terms of like, where am I with my health? Where am I with my spirituality? Where am I in my relationships? Did I call my parents? Did I, call my friends? All the different things, like making sure that you're checking in the different areas to make sure that you're doing the best that you can.
And you're showing up able to be a whole human being. Like that's the point of the whole balance. It's like, how can I operate and show up and be maximized?
That kind of sums up what we were, what we wanted to share in terms of balance.
Yeah. Being aware of it. I guess one thing I want to leave though, in terms of a tip, if someone's wondering like, okay, you said a lot, so how do I like organize and start to balance? Going back to the last point of what I was saying, I think it's really important to just list it, prioritize it, write it down. Like, what are the things that are actually happening in your life? What are the things you're actually trying to accomplish? What are the things that, that is happening that you have to tend to? And then there's other stuff that you might be doing or trying to get off the ground in the background. Like, list all of those things out and figure out where each step of those things are and what can you contribute realistically that will allow for those things to work and be functional and just really be intentional in that. And once you do that, you can just start to balance different things out. Like I said, for me, my spirituality is important. So it's the very first thing that I'm always addressing. I mean, I'm addressing it throughout the day too, but I'm carving out a specific amount of time in the beginning because that's what I need to get the day started. And that's what helps level out my mind. And that's what helps the rest of me, or the whole of me, I should say, to be all right, to kickstart all of that. So that's what I know about myself. Okay, let me get this done. So then now that I know this is done, okay, I'm thinking a little clearly to organize this, and this. Okay, now I could do this, now I could do that. And it's really just about getting in a system, getting in a routine, finding out how you work, what works best for you, timing, other people's timing, and then throwing that in a big pot and mixing it all together and serving it up, figuring out how it tastes along the way. Balance, again, the key point also too is balance is not just because you're grinding and you're unaffected. Like, you genuinely have to understand that rest is important. It's crucial, especially as vocalists, because you can't recover this. Like, you can't continue to recover this week. So it needs time, it needs rest, it needs intentional recovery. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of like preventive maintenance. Like, even if, these aren't all things like Like, don't wait till you're sick to start exercising or start having the teas.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of incorporate it into your lifestyle so that you can prevent issues from happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And hydrate.
And hydrate. Do it all while hydrating. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys, you know, are really approaching. And the reason why we're bringing this up is because it also goes back to the opportunities as well, right? You know, if you're in a space where you're just chasing every single opportunity, you know, that might be the season that you're in because of what you need to do. You know, to get to where you need to go, I should say. But at the same time, that shouldn't be a forever thing. And you still got to find time to reset you properly because you're going to be working on fumes. You're going to be working on nothing.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah. Balance and hydrate, as Natalie said. That was actually really good advice, balance and hydrate.
Yeah, you got self-care, spirituality, work balance, you know, love life. You know, these are all things that you kind of want to have space for in your life. So,
yeah.
Just gotta,
because you can't compartmentalize these things. They have to coexist.
Right.
You know, think of it as a chord. A chord isn't a chord because it's just one note playing. It's several notes playing, which makes it a chord. At one time. Right.
Yeah.
You can't compartmentalize the soprano note and say, hey, yeah, it's a chord with 3 notes. It's like, no, you have to, everything has to be playing at once. So you got to figure out how harmonically that can work.
Yep.
So thanks again, guys, for joining us for another one of our episodes here at Your Singer Friends.
Yes, that wraps up episode 5.
Yes.
My name is Natalie Imani.
I am Tanikka Charraé.
And we are your singer friends. Thank you for watching our show.